Solomon Adel Eid closes up his shop after another day of poor sales. He sells pictures to tourists on the streets of Sharm el-Sheikh. December is peak season for the Red Sea resort and the city's streets are normally full. But the aftermath of October's Russian plane crash looms large over the seaside resort. Eastern European visitors, including people from former Soviet satellite states like Ukraine, make up 45% of all tourists' arrival in June. But that all changed on October 31st when a Metrojet Airbus A321 crashed in the Sinai Peninsula shortly after takeoff from Sharm el-Sheikh airport, killing all 224 people on board.
After the Russian airplane crisis, we argued with the hotel owners and asked them to cut the rent a little bit. They told us they would think about it, but then they didn't respond to us. However, we continued opening the shops through the month of the Russian airplane crash. And the owners surprised us by asking for rent. We told them that we did not have the money for the rent. They said, okay, if we don't have the money, then we can close the shop and go.
By day, hotels and swimming pools are empty, roads deserted and beaches abandoned. Many local businessmen who depend on tourists for their trade here share Adel's story. In the week after the crash, the local Chamber of Tourists Facilities said that at least 40% of tourists left the Egyptian resort. Some 80% of reservations were also cancelled.
Before the plane crash, I used to work every day. My work started at about 10 p.m. and ended at 3 a.m. The workflow was normal and I used to work every day. Until 1 week after the crash, the work started to reduce until it completely stopped.
Hitham has worked at Sharm el-Sheikh since 2001. He says he has no choice but to leave Egypt if work doesn't pick up in the next 2 months. With a family to look after, Mohammed has no choice but to stay in Sharm.
I have lived here since 2002. It's the first time such a thing has happened to us, and it's because of the aeroplane crash. Even during the revolution, things were not like this. You know what? We cannot even buy a pack of cigarettes.
But it's the end of the road for Adel Eid. He made the tough decision to return to Cairo, but he hopes to be back by the sea before long.
Well, my plan now is make my way back home. I'll look for a job in Cairo, any job. I can't get money until the tourists return again. I know it will happen, and I'll be back again, God willing.
The 6-hour ride to the capital leaves a lot of time for Adel Eid to contemplate his next move. But he's sure of one thing. If it wasn't for the plane crash, he would still be in Sharm. Catherine Ogunde, CCTV.